Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. Today we're here doing another raw edit of the week 78. This is for Jared Polin, froknowsphoto, raw edit of the week. I really like doing these. I got a lot of positive feedback about the dragon effect that I did. If you want, check that out. It's a really cool effect that gives an amazing, intense look to portraits. But today I'm kind of doing something different. We have a raw edit that was provided this week that really stands out to contrast, something bold, and there's a lot in it. I'll open it up real quick and then we'll break it down. But it really will, you could do a lot with this image. I mean, bam, look at all the graffiti, and I'm kind of taking this into a comic looking kind of route. With these, I don't want to just do a basic, here's some contrast, boom, which will look fantastic, but I want to do something that is obviously more entertaining. So I'm doing a comic book effect, which a lot of people do know and a lot of people obviously don't know. And you could do this in really quick steps, and yeah, it's just very easy to follow along. All right, so let's break this down. I'll get this back to its original state. So what do we have here? We have an image that was shot with the D3100. That was one of my first cameras. Very nice beginner camera, but you would probably want to get the 3200 now if you're looking and getting a beginner camera. So this was shot with the D3100 at f4.5, which was a very smart choice. I think they were using a Sigma lens. Let me just check right here. The Sigma 10 to 20 millimeters, and f4 to f5.6. So that's actually really nice lens by Sigma. Optically, I'm not a big fan of it, but that's not the point of this. Shot with 1/50th of a second at ISO 200, and it was shot at 10 millimeters. So you're getting that great rounding effect. You're getting a little distortion on the outside, and as I say, the first thing I always do is lens correct. But what a great image that was captured. You have so many colors that will pop if you decide to do this in a color edit. Definitely a black and white. I'll show you that real quick. I mean, just like a simple boom, as I was doing, I was dropping the exposure, a little bit of the black levels, bam, something pops. Even a quick vignette. Oh my gosh, this thing is just boom. I mean, right there, that's something pretty cool itself. Or you can go the black and white route, drop the saturation, and I would raise the exposure a little bit just to give something more punchy to stand out. And just something like that really kind of just brings it out. One of the main things that, as I said, I start to do, let me bring this back to status quo, because I'm not gonna want all of this. But as I said, one of the main things that I will do, I'll adjust this accordingly, as I go to lens correction, enable the profile, and it found it. Sigma usually finds and does a really nice job. As you see, it undistorts it. Bam. Next step I want to do is I'm going to go straight to the crop. There is a little too much, and writing, especially like the no parking, you can't really kind of help it in this image, but like especially something on this side, scam, takes away from the image. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick crop, and I'm going to do mine kind of close. I'm going to go about right here on the right side. That's why I like that. I might even cut down just to give a little less headroom, and I actually might cut off some of the feet. And watch where you're cutting off the image. You don't want to cut at natural cutting points like the knees, the elbows, etc. So I'm just going to go a little below the knees. How is this looking? You know what? I kind of like that. I might want just how would that kind of look? You know what? With what I'm going to do, this might work out pretty perfect. So let's go with this. Let's just go with it for the sake of it, and just kind of show you what I will be doing. As I said, I'm just going to make a little adjustments right here anyway, just to make it easier for me in the long run. I'm going to keep the little bit of a vignette that was applied, and lens correction is on, and let's go and do this. So as I said, we are doing the comic book effect, which is a pretty cool thing. Let me just get this to fit on the screen. Cool. Don't know why I did the accent. So what do you want to start with first? As I said, this is actually very, very simple. Just take some quick steps. So you go to Images, your Levels. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to set your in-point level. It's always good to start around 50 or 60, but I'm going to set mine around 40 for this image and just see how, bam, how much it just popped. And you'll see it get a little more extreme as you go up. I don't really want that, so maybe 45-ish is good for me. And you're going to set your end level, usually 200, something like that is pretty good. So I was like 220. It's actually working really, really nice for me. Maybe 230. And that's giving me some pretty good levels there. Now this is how you're going to get that illustrated graininess look. Once again, it's very, very simple, but you will get what you want. So go to Filter, Artistic, Film Grain, and it's going to pop up. And yeah, it's still kind of saved from before, but usually the grain, it starts out about 4 and the intensity is usually all the way up. You want to leave that intensity all the way up just so it gives that awesome, you know, popping effect, but kind of go by feel. But I'm probably going to leave it around a 6 or 7. Grain, for that matter, you can increase or decrease because you're going to use a layer. I'll go about 9. So as that's on there, that will look pretty good. And what you want to do is then duplicate the layer. So just drag it down or right click and do it. And you want to name this this layer halftone because we're going to create some stuff on that. So you want to go on here, click that, go back onto Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. And you kind of really want to leave it the way it is. You can, I like using the pixel count at about 4 or 5, and as you see, you're like, whoa, what the heck did you just do to the image? You can't really see anything. This is where you go to your blend mode. And the best blend mode to use with this type of thing is darken. So just find darken, bam, and it gives it that pixely kind of comic look that you really, really like. The colors are punchy. The colors do kind of bleed a little, but what does a comic book look like? You can especially see from the image here. So now you have to add some elements to this thing to give it that comic book look. Borders and a couple little inlays that I think would be really, really cool and a really nice touch for this image. So what am I going to do? I'm going to double click on this and add a stroke layer to it. I'm going to set it to about 20 pixels for the size. You want the position to be inside. And the color, I have it written down here because it's just easier to punch up. It's more of an orangey border, which I will show you. And I'll say it's F5 ECE1, and you can kind of go and pick your own color yourself, and you kind of around, you know, this right here, bam, and look at that, you already now have an effect. You have a stroke on there giving you an awesome looking border for the image. So what else is there to do to something like this? I would add a new layer. And I want to create a rectangle, so I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, which I already have grabbed. I'm going to create something down here. And this is kind of, you will kind of make your box looking type images, and you just where you can add certain things like what normally they use for dialogue and such. So you want to switch, you want to grab your paint bucket tool, switch it to white, and paint it in, and then this is where you can actually add anything you want from dialogue to text, etc., etc. Now, a cool kind of one to do is to add another box up here, and you can put raw edit of the week. I'm just gonna do a simple thing, just like raw edit of the week, blah blah blah. It's 78, I think. So raw edit 78. Oh, 78. And I'll mess with the font and stuff like that, and just to get it to where you want it. But I feel like this is a really cool image to do a lot with it. You could pull it into an awesome black and white, as I showed you. You bump the contrast up. But as I said, I wanted to do something different, and it definitely gives that comic book feel. You just have to mess around with more of the font styles and stuff like that to get that true comic look. So overall, as I said, I'll give you a quick rundown. You mess with the contrast by going into your image filter layer, your image and your adjustments, and go into your levels and mess with your levels. Other than that, you create a halftone image and you add some graininess, some fonts, some boxes with some custom colors or some custom font. So I think this is kind of cool. I'm going to do some other things. I just wanted to make this kind of quick because this is already a little bit long. It's also 3 in the morning. I want to get this up. And yeah, so I hope this comic book effect was really, really cool. It's something different you can look at. Yes, it's not the original image, but you know what? This is all about fun and providing a new editing style that you can use for anything. So that's it for me. Please subscribe to my channel and leave me comments below. Like this video if you think the style is kind of cool. It is very, very different. I don't typically do something like this, but I want to provide information that people that want to do these extreme edits. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you learned something. Enjoy. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. See ya.